Hi everyone. So I know that I shouldn't be filming. I know that I should still be resting my voice, but I just wanted to share these postcards that I'm making right now. I signed up for this postcard swap on this young lady's blog. Her name's, her blog's ihannah.blogspot.com, and she's from Sweden. And I saw her link, I think, off of another blog. And so I thought, my goal for 2010 is to create more, to buy less, we'll do that in order. Buy less, create more, and challenge myself. So I've never done a postcard swap, and so I thought I'd give it a try. So I really wanted to share what I've done so far because they're coming out really, really nice. And I wanted to share with all of you what I was inspired from and hopefully inspire you and challenge you, because that's what I did. So, I signed up for the swap and I was going to whip out some, cute little postcards. But I shared my book, not my book, but the book I bought, called Taking Flight, Inspiration and Techniques to Give Your Creative Spirit Wings. And I've kind of dabbled a little bit in mixed media, but I really, really want to explore it more, and that's like the direction that I'm taking. And so when I started looking at this book and looking over some of the techniques, it really changed the direction that I had for these postcards. So I shared my first one the other day, and this is the first one I showed you. Excuse me. So basically what these are recycled Capri Sun cardboard boxes that I've cut down and cut into a 3.5 by 5 or 3 by 5.5, one of those size to make a postcard. I wanted to, one, recycle, and two, just to do something different. So what I did, and I'm just going to tell you real quick, this is what I've done to all of them. Let me put this down for a second. I'm going to show you. So what I've done is I've covered one side. These are the 4 I have left still to do. I've covered one side with gesso, and when it dried, I acrylic painted all of them, basically just an ivory color. And then I took a dried sock, just a plain old sock, like a white sock, and I got some metallic, like goldish looking paint, and just kind of rubbed it all around the outside, edges before I put on my pattern paper. Okay, then I just selected, and these are all scraps, all the pattern paper are all scraps. So then I took some pattern paper, and you cut it to whatever size you want. You could do the whole thing like I did here, one full pattern, or you can just do a couple, or what I did is like a couple, cut them at an angle, you just turn them to the side, and then you take actual sewing pattern paper, like the actual sewing pattern, and you just cut a strip off, and then put my glasses on, I can't see. You cut just a piece off, just randomly. Basically, you're just making like a little collage of pattern paper, and you attach it with a gel medium. I use the Liquitex brand, I believe. You just cover the back, and then you lay them on and smooth it out with your brayer. And once you've done what you've wanted with your pattern paper, then you cover the entire surface with the gel medium and put it aside to dry completely. Now, when you cover them and they're wet, you'll have a slight buckle. I mean, just a slight buckle. But once it's dried, it's going to lie completely flat. And then what I've learned after I think about the third postcard, when I went to actually start embellishing and altering the front of it, give it a quick sand with just a really super fine grit sandpaper, and it just gives it a little more tooth, something to grab onto the paint or ink or whatever you're using. And I kind of learned as I went. So anyways, these are the 4 I have left to do. Then on the other side, I just stamped, turned it into my own little postcard, just stamped like a flourish down the middle to separate. And this is a box for an address that says to and from. And then right here it says carte postale. Hope I say that right. I know what else I learned how to say right. Ephemera. I learned how to do it. Thank you, Gina and Roxy. I listened to you guys, but Gina gave me a really good tip. Anyhow, just throwing that out there. ephemera. I'm a big girl now. Anyways, I'm probably gonna go to 10 minutes, but please come back for part 2 because the cards are definitely worth it. So basically, my reason for sharing these is because if I can do it, you can do it. And I don't want anybody to limit their self. I got a really nice comment from somebody. I subscribed to her channel, and she emailed me back, and she just gave me a really super nice compliment. And she'll know who she is when I say this. She just gave me a super nice compliment, and I messaged her back, I'm just like you. I put my pants on one leg at a time. So I'm no, rocket scientist. I think it sums it up when I say I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. And I'm just a paper crafter in love with ink and paper and gel medium. And so anyways, I just want to challenge myself, and I want you all to do the same. Don't limit yourself to anything. When you think you can't, like that quote I read the other day, if that little voice inside you says that you can't paint, by all means paint. Okay, so this is my first postcard that I shared. I distressed inked it all around. I stamped this girl really cute. I did a rub-on right here that says beauty, and I stamped a vine, and I did a rub-on flower with the bling in the middle. I colored her in with some markers, and then I rubbed some stickles. Oh, wait a minute. Then I stamped with some bubble wrap. That's a really cool way to give it a really cool background. And then I put some distress stickles all the way around, and when I rubbed it in with my finger, I kind of smeared the ink, but I like how it came out. So that's my first one. Hope there's not too much of a glare from my light. Okay. And the next one I did, this was really cool. I love how this came out. I'm trying to think what I did first. Okay. I have a background stamp, and it's all coffee related. Like it says Colombian, Kona, Vienna, chocolate, amaretto, French roast. It just has like a bunch of coffee words. So I stamped that in a distress ink. I think it was like walnut stain or maybe brushed corduroy, because I wanted just a faint background look. And so after I did that, I thought it was dry, but I had a happy surprise when I stamped the girl. It's a lady with swirly hair, real cute, holding a cup of coffee, and I stamped her with the Tim Holtz Distress Embossing ink, and then I covered her with the walnut stain distress powder. And when I poured the powder over, lo and behold, the distress ink on the back was still a little bit wet, and it picked up all of that distress powder. So I love the way it looked. So it was a happy mistake. So lucky I'd only kind of poured it over like one half of this side, and it left this side empty. So then I just poured it on the edges, so just to pick up a few of it to highlight. So I left that, empty. So I, heat set her, and then rubbed it off when it was cold, had cooled down, rubbed it off to give it the distressed look. I markered her up, colored her in, and then right here I stamped Coffee and Friends Are the Perfect Blend, and then I heat embossed it with ultra thick embossing powder. And then I put a little name, like a little plate, like a little name plate, and it says Together with some brads. And I alcohol inked this to change the color. And then I put a little flower with bling. And then I distress inked all the way around, and I highlighted with a gold marker. Okay, I'm already at 9 minutes, and I've only done 2. Okay, see if I can get this one done in by 10 minutes. Let me take a sip of hot tea. Sorry about that. Okay, this next one, I kind of started learning as I was going that the alcohol ink on top of that texture medium that you've brushed with, it's going to take a super long time to dry. So what I started doing is just embossing. After I was done, I just pour like a fine detail embossing powder over the whole entire project, and then heat setting it, and it really gave it a really nice glazed look. So with this one, this is my second girl out of the stamps that I have 3. And I did my first hand at drawing on my own body I'll show you the stamp. This is one of them, the next one that I have to use, and I'm going to end the video right now and come back. But they only have the tops of their shoulders. They don't have, you know, a body. So anyways, I'm going to stop the video, come back for part 2.